Everyone always talks about the importance of getting your business found on Google search results. Most importantly, that Google Map Pack, that three pack. And everybody talks about all these great ranking factors, all these strategies and things that you need to do to get your business into that three pack of Google's map listings. Obviously, because that's where you're going to get the most leads. And they talk about website structure, backlinkings, great reviews, optimizing your Google business profile, all that stuff. But there's one thing that I don't see anybody ever talking about that I think plays a massive role in ranking your business into that map pack of Google. So I want to share with you guys what I think it is and how it could even outweigh the rest of those ranking factors. And I'm going to show you guys a method I've been using to actually work on that factor and get that business to the top. What up there, guys? Izzy here once again with Get Busy LLC, helping contractors, home service business owners to understand the internet and show them how to use it to generate more leads and more business for their business. So in this video, I want to talk about the importance of getting your business found in Google's map pack, that three pack of the search results, and why it's so important. Nowadays, I'm starting to use this example to really show the importance of it to a contractor or a home service business owner. I live in a small town, 35,000 people, right? At any given day, I almost guarantee you there's 100 people every single day that are probably thinking about getting their windows cleaned for their home. That's just something people pay for. That's just window washing, right? There's 100 people thinking about it, discussing it with their wife. But out of those 100 people, there's maybe 1 to 3% that are actually taking action and hiring that service today. And where are they going to go to find that service, especially when they don't know anybody in that industry? They're going to pull out their smartphone, they're going to type in window cleaning services, and they're going to go to whoever shows up first in the Google map listing, that three pack. A lot of them are just going to blow right by the ads. And this is why it's so important to get your business found on Google's search results, that top three. And if you're a local business, a contractor, you've probably jumped on YouTube here and trying to figure that out. You're listing verified, you got a website set up, and you're seeing so much information. There's a lot of talk about the website structure, building out pages for your services, location pages, proper titles, proper descriptions, SEO, properly optimizing your Google business profile. Make sure you're getting out there and getting reviews, start building out backlinks to point to your website. There's a bunch of things on here. And a lot of that stuff I teach here on this channel, a little step by step. All of that stuff is important. But there's one ranking factor that this is my personal theory. I have like nothing to back this up with, right? Other than just visually looking at businesses that I've ranked in the past. Something that I think people don't really talk about, and that is brand. Your brand recognition. I think that plays a massive role in where a business ranks in that Google business profile. I can't count the number of times I go online and I look for businesses that have a really good, well optimized website. They're doing some SEO and they're still being outranked by another business with less reviews, less pages on their site, less things like that. And I often wondered what could be the cause for some of these businesses to rank higher, even though they have less of everything. They're still ranking up higher for some businesses. And a lot of it has to do with those businesses been around for a very, very long time. And also brand recognition. There's some people in some communities that are just known for the service that they provide. So people go on Google and actually type in their name and actually look for them in their local market. And I often think to myself, do you think Google doesn't know that? So here, for example, like I said, I live in a small town, 35,000 people. And let's say I'm looking for a carpet cleaning business. And I've seen this carpet cleaning company in my town for like, say, 10 years. I've seen they have a billboard in town. People talk about them in the community. They provide a great service. They got great word of mouth. And I just looked them up by name. Let's say they're called Joe's Carpet Cleaning. I just type in Joe's Carpet Cleaning and I hit search and I find their listing on Google and I click on it and call and all that stuff. You think Google doesn't know that I'm in my local area? I'm actually typing that brand name. I'm clicking on his Google business profile. I'm clicking the phone number and I'm calling that guy and then I'm closing off my session. There's got to be a way that Google understands that that's taking place and it's building up a brand for that business. And Google, if I'm Google, I'm going to favor that listing because it's getting a lot more action. People are actually typing that in. It's useful. So when somebody types in carpet cleaning in Past Robles here, I'm going to start pushing that listing up higher because a lot of people look that guy up and he's a carpet cleaner. One of the best ways for me to describe this is, if you guys don't already know, I'm a huge, huge baseball fan. I've been a fan since I was a kid. I'm Dodger fan, but overall, the older I've gotten, I like baseball in general, the history, everything about it. I just love baseball. One of the things I just saw was the All-Star game. The All-Star game, for guys that don't know baseball, They gather up the best players from all the teams and put them against American League versus the National League. And it's just the best players versus the best players of each league. It's great to watch. But sometimes you'll notice that some players with great stats do not make the team. So I'm going to share with you guys a perfect example of this. This is going to sound biased because I am a Dodger fan, but there's a player on the Dodgers called Andy Pages, and he's having a great season. His stats are great. He's hitting for average, home runs batted in, hitting with guys on base. He's a terrific defender as well. And he should have went to the All-Star game, but he did not. And there's another player out there called Fernando Tatis Jr., San Diego Padres. Love that player. He's great. His stats are also great. Good average, good home runs, RBIs, guys hitting with guys on base, good defender, both outfielders, both playing the same position. But it is clear as day that Andy Pages has better numbers than Fernando Tatis Jr. Head to head, Andy Pages versus Tatis Jr., Andy Pages wins. But out of those two players, Tatis Jr. is the one that went to the All-Star game. Why is that? Even though Andy Pages' numbers are better. Same with the website, right? I can have more pages, more reviews, better structure, better backlinks, all this stuff on this website. And then you have another website that's got less of that and it's still ranking. Why is that? The exact same reason Tatis Jr. went to the All-Star game and Andy Pages did not. People know Tatis Jr. He's a very, very popular player. If you go online and look for the top 20 baseball jerseys sold, he's probably in the top 10 to 15 of jerseys sold because he's a very, very popular player. He's been good for a long time. This year he hasn't been as great, but he's well known. People like him. He's just a popular, people know him by name. Andy Pages is a nobody. They don't know who he is. This is basically his first full year in Major League Baseball. And even though his stats are better, he did not make the team. Isn't that crazy? So I believe that's exactly what happens with a lot of these search results on Google. You have to build up your brand name. People have to know who you are, your logos. Maybe you got some merch that you hand out to people. If people start to know your brand and your name, they're going to start to type that into Google, and that's going to play a huge ranking factor on top of everything else that you do. It's going to play a huge factor in where you rank towards the top of those search results. So how does one do that though, especially online? You know, people are going to know you in the real world with time when they see your gear and all that stuff. But depending on the service you provide, there's services like paving contractors. It's boring as hell. Nobody looks at that, right? But how do you improve your brand name? This is something I've been thinking about for probably for about a year now, probably even longer than that, because I've known that's one of the things that people are looking for. Your brand name is very, very important, especially as we progress more with this AI stuff and people start, search is going to always be there, but search is going to go down. And like I mentioned earlier, at any given moment, there's 100 people that need window cleaning. There's only 1, 2, or 3 that are actually taking action and calling somebody today. But what about those other 97? How do you reach those people? And that's where your brand comes in. So here's one of the ways that I have been wanting to learn and starting to implement how to build up the brand of a home service type business, a contractor, something as boring as that. How do I build up the brand online for that? And that's exactly what I've been working on with Facebook and Facebook ads. So I want to show you guys just some stats just to give you an idea on how this whole process has been working to build up a brand of an asphalt paving company out in Reno, Nevada. And I got some stats to prove that this shit is actually working. So what I have been doing for the last, I would say, month and a half, maybe 2 months, is working on Facebook ads for this paving company. And the way that I'm doing it, I'm not going to go into great detail. I'll create a link to the video where I go into how I'm making these ads at the end of this video so you guys can check that out. So basically what I'm doing is building up this guy's brand name and his services on another platform, which is Facebook. And we've been doing it now for about 2 months, going on 2 months, something like that, maybe a little under 2 months. But ever since we started this is what we've noticed as a direct result with creating 4 video ads and then a couple of small retargeting ads. I'm going to show you the stats of what's happening with his search and getting found online. So this here is something called the Google Search Console. And I'll go to this in another video. So basically what you do is you put a piece of code onto your website and this Google console will tell you exactly the searches that are being made to get your website. What's making your website pop up? What types of things are people actually typing in to Google that makes this website pop up? And over the last year or so, most of the searches for this particular website were mostly searches for like asphalt paving company, asphalt paving Reno, driveway paving, driveway services, seal coating, parking lot, that sort of thing. A lot of searches like that. But one of the things that I've noticed in the last, I would say 2 months now, is his actual brand is starting to get more search. If you go look on here, for example, here, this is a specific search for his actual business name. So asphalt paving, it's a Great West Asphalt Paving. You'll see the previous 3 months, people looked him up 4 times. Compared to the last couple of months, they've looked him up 16 times by name. There's also certain things like Great West Asphalt they're typing into Google now, Great West Asphalt Paving reviews into Google, that sort of thing. So what's happening is his brand is starting to go up. So basically what I did is I took a screenshot of all this, popped it into ChatGPT so it could tell me exactly what this is implying, all this information. I don't want to go all technical and just bore you to tears with that crap. But in essence, this is what it says. So I put the screenshot and I told it what's happening here. It showed me all the stats. And it says, what does this mean? Brand awareness is rising. You're getting brand searches. Great West Asphalt Paving didn't even register any impressions or clicks in the previous 3 month period, but now it's being searched and clicked. You're showing high on Google basically for the brand name. Why this is good news? This is a clear signal that either your marketing efforts, local SEO, customer word of mouth, are paying off. People are now typing in the actual business name into Google and finding the site. It's an early indicator of brand traction. Do you see what I'm saying? We're starting to build up the brand. And I put another screenshot for another search term, which is Great West Asphalt Paving reviews. My thinking behind that is they're going into Google and they're typing in Great West Asphalt Paving reviews because they have seen this business's Facebook ads. They've seen it on their feed. They've seen it on their phone. They're starting to see that brand. They're getting curious about the company. So they're starting to do that search. So the brand name is growing even more. And I took a screenshot for that keyword and asked Google what's happening here. And it says people are seeing your brand ad, remembering the name, and Googling it. More impressions equals more people typing in Great West Asphalt Paving. Clicks nearly doubled. Click-through rate is very high now, showing strong interest from those who see it. Why this matters. This is a classic evidence of an awareness funnel working. Your Facebook ad isn't driving direct clicks, but it's planting your business name in people's heads. They go onto Google and search you later, which drives organic brand search growth, exactly what you want for long-term SEO success. And as a direct result of that, I mean, this is this is a 15, usually I do only 10-mile radius, but I decided to do a 15-mile radius just to see. He's completely crushing the competition over there when it comes to his organic reach with that map listing. And I think a lot of it has to do with people recognizing his brand, and people are typing that into Google. So not only am I working on his site, I'm working on his reviews, the Google Business Profile, his content, his backlink, so all that stuff, but also improving his brand, which is causing him to dominate that entire area. So what does this all mean? So basically it means that brand is very, very important because when I do searches for his business now in that local area, his map listing reaches as far as like 15 miles. It's all over the place. He's completely dominating that area, getting tons of leads. Plus, the Facebook ad campaign has been generating him leads, and they're very, very cheap for that campaign. I think this month, it's 3 weeks into July. Our campaign is maybe $250 we have spent so far on his campaign of just building up his brand, and he's getting some leads there in some of those little lead forms. It's a very, very basic ads. Like I say, I'm just barely learning this whole Facebook crap, but I see how important this is going to be, especially in the future in ranking on Google, especially since Google, you're only going to be fighting for 3 spots. So if you're a town with 500,000 people and you're a plumber, you got your work cut out for you in actually getting into that top. You can have that badass website, all the interlinking, all the page, the Google Business Profile, getting a shit ton of reviews, all that stuff. But if somebody in that same area is getting about the same, maybe even less, but people know his brand, that person's going to beat you. Just like in the All-Star game of baseball, you can have 2 players, one that's even better than the other guy. This guy's still going to make the team because he's better known. People know him more. People recognize his name, buy more of his jerseys, a more popular player. He's going to make the team, even though other player is better. The same thing's happening here with these Google Business Profile listings and the Google Map rankings. So going forward, this is why I want to keep learning some of this Facebook ad. And what I learn, I'm going to, upload and show you guys here on my channel as I experiment more and more with this. I'm doing it for myself as well, for my own business, my website design, my own SEO, my little course that I teach here. I show people how to build up their own websites, do their own SEO, all that stuff, which, by the way, you can check out the description below. There's links to that. You can check that out. And I'm also going to be adding that Facebook ad training as soon as I could figure out how this whole damn thing works, because it doesn't seem too complicated other than setting up actually creating the videos, editing and cutting them, setting them all up. Doesn't seem too complicated to do. And it's a great way, a cheap way to start building up your brand online. They're going to see your video content. And if you're somebody who's comfortable on camera, hell, I'd be doing this shit all day long. So you guys want access to any of that stuff? You guys need some help with your SEO, your website design, or any of that stuff? Just go to the description below. You guys could book a call with me, join my group. I'll show you guys how to do all this stuff, building out your website all by yourself, doing your SEO all by yourself, and save you guys tons and tons of money because it's not all that difficult to do. And if you guys are curious about my Facebook ads strategy that I'm learning and I'm implementing, I would say by no means am I some master at doing any of this crap. I'm learning as I'm going, and I'm basically relaying the information that I'm learning and making videos to describe all that stuff. You can check out a video for that right there, my whole Facebook strategy that I've been working on. And that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time.